to do this, so I'm just going to record a video. So these are some things I have to do or need to do. Number one, I'm going to do a video on YouTube about a teaching to explain what Yehoshua meant by saying in the Lord's Prayer. He said, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Now, as we know, if you look in the original text, the original Greek, the oldest Greek manuscripts, the oldest Aramaic manuscripts, there is no for thine is the power, for thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. That's not there. Not that it's not true, but it's just not. It's not part of the original scripture. So I'm not going to talk about that. What I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about what did he mean by lead us not into temptation, lead us not into a test, because it says the scripture will not contradict itself. It says God does not tempt us. God cannot send us a temptation. He doesn't tempt us, meaning he will not lead us to sin. He's not going to lead us in that way. A better way to translate the word temptation is enticement to sin. God will not entice us to sin. It said that Yehoshua went into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. He fasted and was tempted by the devil. So yeah, that's true. You can be tempted by the devil. One way to translate this, do not bring us into enticement to sin. Don't bring us into a path that would entice us to sin. You can also say that from that one verse, do not let us fail. I know there's some people translate it this way. Do not let us fail into temptation. Do not let us fall to temptation. Don't let us fail when we are enticed by sin. I'm going to also say that do not let us fall. That can be negative because you're saying do not let us fail. You're thinking fail and all these things. So, temptation and whatnot, it's like a slippery slope. So another way to put it is exactly what Yah said to Cain. He said, if you do well, will you not be accepted? Sin lies at the door. That's the King James translation. But you shall rule over it. The Septuagint, it says, sin will submit to you, and you be still, for you shall be a conqueror over it. You shall conquer it. You shall overcome it. He's telling Cain, no matter what your weakness is, everyone's got different weaknesses, different temptations that will lead them to sin, whatever it may be. Lust, greed, gluttony, idolatry, jealousy, stealing, just evil thoughts, gossiping, things like that. Whatever it may be, you will conquer that, but not alone, only with my help. Israel, you will conquer with the help of Elohim. So I'm going to also say that you will conquer it. So another way to pray the Lord's Prayer, instead of saying, do not let us fail when we are enticed by sin, you could also say, help us to conquer when to sin. Help us conquer sin. Help us to conquer our weaknesses. Help us to conquer the temptations. Instead of do not let us fail. And then the second line says, but deliver us from the evil, or the evil one. Some translations say, and I think it's more accurate to say, rescue me, but rescue us from the devil. There's not much more I can say about that. That last line's pretty straightforward. Rescue us from the devil, from the lion, because he is like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. Not just eat a little bit, he's going to eat the whole of you and kill you. So, rescue us from being killed by the devil. He wants to kill us. Rescue our lives from the penalty of sin, death, eternal death. Satan wants us to not just die because of leading us to sin, because he is after the things of men, which is sin, carnality, I should say, more specifically. He's not just after that, leading us to sin. He wants us to be stuck in our sins so that we just give up. And that's not a place for us to be. And God knows this. He wants us to overcome with his help and to fully trust him, because he doesn't see us as we are now. The problem is we as human beings are so short-sighted. We don't see the big picture. We don't have the eyes of God. He sees things in the bigger picture. He sees things as they're going to be and not as they are now. Not that he cannot see what we were before and what we are now, but he has faith in us that we will reach our potential. It's important for us to realize that he believes in us before we even believed in him. Just as it says that he loved us. We love him because he loved us first, but we also believe in him because he also believed in us first. He created us before we were even created. Before we even thought we were predestined. He predetermined every little thing in our lives, even our lives itself. Our lives itself. That's all I have to say about that. That's my short teaching. It's really spur of the moment. So.